Good evening, everyone. How are you all doing? This is Cassandra Washington from Life Enhancement and Development Enterprises. I'm so excited because in about a week, we will be having our Life Enhancement and Development Summit, and we will be talking about empowering the mind. That if I had a theme, it would be "It's all in the state of mind." And I have with me today one of my favorite persons. She's going to be with me at the conference on October 16th, and she's going to be talking about minding your own business. Bernadette, want to say hello to the people?
Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I hope you are having an awesome day.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So we're going to just have a conversation this evening. Want you to just get a taste of what she's going to be talking about on next Saturday morning, starting at 10 o'clock a.m. Minding your own business.
Business.
Business. So first, I want to ask you. We're going to jump right into it, Bernadette.
Okay.
What is what significant event or thing happened in your life that made you passionate about finances and wealth?
Finances and wealth. I think for me, that what triggered it again, if you've heard my story, is I dreamed after reading a story of being debt free and living a wealthy lifestyle. So it started from there. And I guess I was about 8 years old.
Oh,
So
okay.
I knew I wanted to be wealthy, and I knew how I was going to get there. I didn't know, but as time passed, I learned how to get to that wealthy place. So that's kind of how the foundation started, was me reading a book and deciding, that's my best life, and that's the life I want to live when I'm an adult.
Well, that's awesome. That's wonderful because it's so good to. It starts when you're young.
Yes,
It really does. God
absolutely.
plants it in our minds, or let us see. And it's up to, sometimes in our environment to cultivate that, because that's why I think it's so important for parents to be able to recognize what what gifts and what abilities your children have, so that you can direct them in that path. And so for
Exactly.
you, it came from a book, but it stuck in your mind, and you
Exactly.
knew that one day you wanted to be a business person. You didn't know how you were going to get there, but
I,
you knew that that's what you wanted to be. And so that's awesome, because I like the fact that you talked about that it started in your mind.
mhm.
And one thing I do know for sure, everything starts in the
Absolutely.
mind.
Absolutely.
I remember us having a conversation once before. And of course, I don't know, for those of you who don't know, Bernadette is also a life and business coach. She has a business called Effective Transformation. And
Mhm.
she coaches clients in different areas, in a business, personal development, professional development. She works with organizations, she works with individuals. So that's something that she does on a regular basis. And so I remember you talking to me about, we were talking about clients. How do you know this is the right person for you to work with? Because everybody that contacts you, you don't necessarily take them on as a client, because it's not just about the money for you.
Exactly.
It's about really helping a person transform their life. That's why you call it effective transformation.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
So
tell
with
me,
that,
what is that thing that you look for
mhm,
when someone contacts you saying that they want to get their finances together, that they want to get their personal finances together, or their business together? What is what a, you know what is one thing that you really pay attention to?
I pay attention to how they're feeling at that moment when they call me. So
Mhm.
if when I say I pay attention to how they're feeling me, so if you just say, for example, if they just left a divorce and they're unhappy and they call me and it's like, you know what, my life is in a mess, I'm ready to do something about it, they're probably not ready for me. The person that comes to me and said, you know what, I've been trying to do this on my own for some time and I'm still
Hmm.
not getting this right, but I know this is something I've got to do. That person is ready for me. So I don't want to work with someone who's moving by just impulse, because you're not going to be effective and I'm not going to
Okay.
be effective in trying to help you. When you have gotten sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's the person that I can work with. When you know, you're tired of being in debt and you're now
Hmm.
ready to be debt free, when you've done everything that you can do and you
Hmm.
just need a little help, or maybe you have a vision, you have a dream, and you just need a little help, like, help me understand what this is, help me understand how I can make more money, help me understand how I can get out of this debt, and help me understand how can I get to a wealthy place, and more importantly, what is a wealthy place. I think that's the biggest thing we have to understand is what, because my wealthy place may not be your wealthy place. So
Right. Exactly. And that is a good point. Good evening, everyone. Come on in. I'm sorry. Thank you, Dr. Carol Washington. She was letting me know that things were not connected, but I think I kind of got it now. But welcome, Rona Huey. Rona has a question. No, Rona, I'm sorry. She's not in Mississippi, but she is available to do virtual.
yes,
Available.
definitely.
She's available to do virtual. And before we get off, we'll make sure that her information is put in the comments section. And so that is so key, because you have to evaluate where people are, because if
Exactly.
their mind is if they're not ready in their mind,
Hmm.
then it's almost like
It's a waste
wasting
of
your
time.
time.
It's
And
it's
of
a
course,
waste of
we know
time.
emotions go up and down.
Yes.
Emotions go up and down. You may be one day feeling this way, like you
Hmm.
you 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 read it, and then uh you pass by. Now, Ross is one of my favorite stores. You pass by Ross, and there, you don't need to be going in there spend. Because me, when I go into Ross, I have to be careful. Come on
Exactly.
back out of Ross.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you have to really make up your mind
Hmm.
that you're really ready to do something different. And once you make that decision, that's really, to me, 90% of it. Once you
It's
make that decision
definitely
that you're ready to do something different. And so when you start talking about money, though, people get a little anxious. Yes, that's right. Thank you, Dr. C. Rochelle. Like and share, please. Like and share. Thank you. That's, you know what, that I love this girl, because she be on it. She
honest. She
on it,
is.
on it,
She
on it.
is.
And so, why do you think it is that people are afraid to face their financial problems? And I know I was there at one point, because I didn't know what that was. At one time, I was kind of going through a little financial thing, and when a bill would come, I would feel this, like almost a
A panic
anxiousness come up.
attack,
Yeah,
anxiety, ticket.
exactly. And I would put that envelope on the side. I'd be like, I just can't do it right now. Just can't do it right now. But at some point, I will. But just not. And sometimes it would take me a week or two
Hmm.
to be able to just get the courage and pick it up and open it. So, what do you think? Why we're afraid to face financial problems? Why do you think that is?
Most of the time, we have learned that from somewhere, or we've not learned how to deal with our bills, how to deal with our finances. So, if you think about your parents, when did you see parents pay bills, and how did you see parents pay bills? So, if you were raised in a family where there was lack or not enough, and maybe they said, I'm going to pay half now and half later. Now that becomes your comfort zone. Like, oh, that makes sense to pay half now and half later. That's your normal. So
Hmm.
now when your bill come, or your electric bill come, or if you've been in a society and you were raised and you get home and the lights is off, that's normal for you. It's like, oh, I forgot to pay the light bill. But what comes along with forgetting the light bill is now there's a service fee. There's a late
Hmm.
fee that's going to be added. There's a reconnection fee that's going to be added. So a lot of times it's when we're moving in lack, or we're moving in discipline, because we're undisciplined.
Hmm.
So if you're undisciplined about handling and managing your money, you will have the money in the bank and the lights will still be off because you haven't
Oh.
set and went to pay your bills because no one sat down and told you, okay, what you do when your bill come in, this is how you handle that. I've worked with people who have more than enough money to pay their bills, but because of bad habits, the lights would be off, the gas would be off, the car, they forgot to pay the car note. So now I'm paying a whole bunch of late fees, or that craziness of overdrafting your account over and over and over. Then you go look at it, you've paid more in overdraft fees for $50. So you now pay $300 for a $50 overdraft. That's crazy. But if you are not disciplined and learn how to manage that money, you'll consistently make the same bad mistakes over
Mhm.
and over and over. And that really is coming to a decision. You just got to get sick and tired of, like, I'm sick and tired of doing this. If you're in the habit of overdrafting your account, just stop one day and say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore.
Mhm.
And once you set a plan and make a decision, again, back to that mindset, and you make a decision that you're not going to do this anymore, you're going to put some action to it. But as long as it's okay and it's not a big deal and it's your normal, or you and your girlfriend laugh about, oh man, I overdraft. I did too. It's funny. But when you're talking to someone, it's like, well, that's not funny. You know how much money you just threw? Would you really sit down and tear up $35 and just put it in the trash can? When you're paying extra fees, that's exactly what you're doing.
Oh wow, that's the truth.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing.
And overdraft fees are not cheap.
Oh,
How you doing, Lady Tracy Burton? Hi, Lady Tracy. Thank you from Georgia.
awesome.
Glad to see you, Lady Tracy. So yes, that is so true. I mean,
Yeah.
that is just like you said, just like throwing money into the garbage can.
Yes, you're throwing it
Because
away.
if you had just taken the time to watch what you're putting out
Hmm.
and keep a record of what you and see what you have in there and what you
Exactly.
putting out, which is simple. You know some people just don't even won't even take the time to balance their checkbook or go out to see, just check your now, you can go online and check your account to see what you have, but it all starts in the mind. Some people, I know a person that says, I'll just deal with it later.
Yes,
They're
absolutely.
operating in the moment of gratifying whatever that need or
Hmm.
desire is, and was, well, I just deal with that later. But when you get over, which with what we were just talking about earlier, these emotions and feelings, operating on your emotions and feelings, then you got to deal with the consequences after that feeling is gone, to get to gratify yourself, to get this, I want this, but you're not thinking.
Well, let me tell you another thing that happened with that. So we have those people who don't manage their money well. And then you have those prey people. I call, they like to prey on you. Those who say, I'm going to spend my money on absolutely whatever I want to. And then guess what? When I now get my check, here come the family members, here come the friends, here come
Mhm.
everyone else. So you just wasted your money on whatever you wanted to. So now when the light bill is due and the gas bill is due, you come to me. So a lot of time, those of us who are managing well, we still waste money. Why?
Mhm.
Because we're helping someone else continue to stay in a bad habit. So when you're helping those family members, those friends who refuse to get their finances together and then continue to come to you to and milk off of your finances, you're not
Mhm.
helping them, nor are you helping
No.
yourself. You're not helping yourself either. So now you are now making bad financial choices.
Sometimes people say, well, that's my family, I'm going to help. How you doing, Lisa Hammond has joined us. Thank you, Lisa, good to see
Hi,
you.
Lisa.
Hi, Amelia Bauer. Hello. But the thing about that is, I heard TD Jakes put it like this: people who do that, they pay for their wants but
Hmm.
beg for their needs.
Yes.
You take your money and spend your money for what you want, but you
Yes.
go to somebody else trying to borrow to get money to pay for your needs, for your
Absolutely.
light bill, your mortgage, and food and that type of thing. So your mind is twisted.
Yes.
It's you're
It's a
not
learned
thinking right.
habit. Some of it is a learned habit. I saw mom do this. I saw dad do this. I saw family members do this. I mean, we don't even think about it when we talk about funerals, and funerals are happening and there's no life insurance. All of this is the same thing. It's
Mhm.
like, why do you not have a life insurance policy? Why are you not promoting life insurance policy? Why is that your normal? Because I know for me and my family, I'd seen aunts and cousins, buried, and people coming, can you pay $50? Can you pay $60? And I was just determined that's not going to happen with me. That's not going to happen with my mom. If
Mm-hmm.
something should happen, we're going to make sure you get life insurance. So at
Mm-hmm.
18, someone introduced me to life insurance. And as soon as I learned it, I talked to my mother about it. And sure enough, when she passed, she was able to leave us a life insurance policy. Prior to
Mm-hmm.
that, I never heard people talk about life insurance policy. I was just concerned, like, why does the neighbor down the street, they get new cars, they get, a new house, and then those other neighbors down the street, they got to move into grandma's house now because they don't have anything. And what's happening? What's the difference? The difference is they set themselves up financially. The
Mm-hmm.
difference is they made a choice. So making financial choices and good decisions is simply making up your mind to make good choices. And I didn't know is the worst excuse. It's too much information out here. Internet has made it simple, has made it easy for us. So I don't allow myself to do excuses. I don't let my children do excuses. So when it comes to finances, educate yourself. Take responsibility. If you are a parent, it's your responsibility to educate your children.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you missed out when they were younger and now that they are older, it's still your responsibility.
Yes, it is. And we should start young. Thank you, Lady Tracy. Good information, good stuff, she says. This is it really is. It really is. So you talked about managing your money. And then
Yeah,
we hear about stewardship. Stewardship and management, is there a difference, or are they the same?
it's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think stewardship and management is a whole different world. So when I talk about stewardship, I want to move that over to a biblical sense. In
Mm-hmm.
the biblical sense, when I talk about stewardships, we all know that we're talking about tithe, we're talking about offering, and I want to be a good steward of everything. So I not only
Mm-hmm.
want to be a good steward of my finances, I want to be a good steward of my mind. I want to be a good steward of my health. All of these things
Yeah.
play a part of being wealthy. So wealthy again is not just about money. Wealthy is how do I make good decisions? Is I need my mind to be clear. How is my mind clear? I got to get out here and exercise. I got to eat properly. All those things play a part of being wealthy. Because when I'm tired, I know me, when I eat way too much sugar, and I love sweets.
Mm-hmm.
When I eat way too much sugar, my mind is cloudy. I'm tired. I'm not feeling my best. So therefore, I'm not a good steward of the
Mm-hmm.
thing, of the knowledge that God has blessed me with. I'm not a good steward of my brain that God has blessed me with because I'm not making wise decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we talk about management, if and when God blesses me with a house, I can manage my house well. I'm gonna make sure the lights are on. I'm gonna make sure the air conditioning is getting service. I'm gonna making sure that the house is inspected. So I'm managing that part well. But I'm not a good steward of the other things that He's provided for me. So I can manage well and not be a good steward all at the same time.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, and so when you talk about stewardship, so do you believe that the way we think about money influences our stewardship?
Exactly. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you set no value on your money, or if you think of, let me put it like this. If you think you're always supposed to be poor, you can't be a good steward. If you think, this is who I'm supposed to be, this is normal, I'm supposed to be broke, I'm supposed to just have barely enough, I call it the priesthood lifestyle. I'm not I Okay, if that's who you want to be, that's fine. Priests, they sell everything and they live by just enough. But if you are a good steward and your mind tells you that you're supposed to be broke down and poor, then you can't consider yourself a steward because you're not stewarding anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're not storing anything because your mind said, "Oh, you're supposed to be broke. You're supposed to be poor." What are you storing? There's nothing to steward if I'm broke down and I'm poor. I'm only able to steward what when I'm in a wealthy place and when I'm in a good place. Then I can steward something. But
Mm-hmm.
I tie that to like the men with the talents. If I have one talent and I bury it like the man buried his talent in the
Mm-hmm.
Bible, then I'm not a good steward. I've done nothing with that, absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But if I take that two talents and I multiply, I'm a good steward of that talent. The man
Mm-hmm.
said this one talent wasn't valuable of anything. So if you find no value in it, you cannot be a good steward.
That's it. That's it. If value, if you how whatever value you place upon it, and that's right, Lady Tracy, something is wrong.
Yes,
Lady Tracy said, "Teach."
mhm,
That is right. Something is wrong if you do not place the proper value on a thing.
exactly,
You will not use it properly and correctly, and
exactly.
so and that's what happened. Like you said, the man with the one talent. Well, he buried it in the ground.
Yes, he
He
said it
he
had
he
no
didn't he
value.
didn't he didn't put any value on it, and that did not set well with the person who gave it to him. He
No,
said, you should have made it work for if you knew this is what I was expecting.
and so you wicked and you lazy.
Duh.
The man said you wicked and you lazy. So you too lazy to steward. So and when I read, I take it personally. Like, am I too lazy to read? Am I too lazy to steward and educate myself? Am I too lazy to build on it? So I'm not a good steward. If I got $50, I'm too lazy to go build on that $50 and turn it into something better. That makes me a
Mhm.
steward, not and about to say wicked.
But and that makes me think about and this proverb used to always stick with me when in I think it's Proverbs 6 was when it says, look at the ant. The ant is a very, very tiny, small creature, but
Yes.
the ant is so wise.
So
The
wow.
ant prepares because it knows that winter is coming. And
Yes.
you better believe in life, something is going to come and you need to be prepared. You need to be
Yes.
prepared. And like you were talking about, death is, death, and people die and don't leave have any life insurance, don't have anything in place. So and it puts those who are left here in stress and struggle,
Yes.
trying to come up with things with money to take care of a burial. So we have to be wise.
Yes.
We have to be wise. Thank you, Dr. C. Rochelle. Proverbs 6:6-8 talks about the ant and how the ant is wise. And he's and the and what Solomon was saying, don't be lazy.
Don't be lazy.
Pay attention. Don't be lazy, like you were just saying before. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. And consider her ways and be wise, which have nobody watching over them. They provide the meat in the summer, and then they get their food for the harvest.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want a harvest?
Do you want to harvest?
Do
Do
you
you
want to
want
put
a
in the work
harvest?
now so that you can get a harvest later? Or do you
Yes.
want to eat up everything now, like the locusts
Exactly.
do? You eat
Exactly.
up
I
everything
mean,
now, and then when hard times come, you have nothing. Wait, what?
when we think about it now, I mean, when we look at COVID, and we're not trying to single anybody out for those who are watching, we're not making fun of anybody's hardship. But when we think about it now, the people who made decent money or made good money or made less money, whatever, if you did not save anything, those people are now on the news saying, well, the government should do this and the government should do that. Well, what should you have done?
Mm-hmm.
If your bank account is low, well, where's the government? When are they going to step in? But what should you have done? Did
Mm-hmm.
you manage well? It's easy for us to point sometime at other people and say, what this person should have done, and they should have managed this well. But have you managed well? Because when we think about our people that got your stimulus check, I was listening to this one lady. She was like, if you got 4 stimulus checks and that was $8,000, what do you have to show for that? Like,
Oh
what do
my.
you really, if you're not a good manager and you got 4,000, 8,000, whatever dollars amount in stimulus money, if you're not a good manager, you still don't have anything to show for that money.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely nothing. You didn't start a business. You didn't invest the money. You didn't put a down payment on a house. You didn't purchase a new car. Most of the people, and I don't want to say how many, when they do the numbers and all this kind of stuff, the retail stores went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Walmart went crazy. The
Yes.
food, the amount of food people purchased went crazy. Now you can't tell me everybody was buying for a household of 5, 6, 7, 8, 20 children.
Mm-hmm.
No, you were not. So my thing is with that, if you don't learn to be a good steward with small amount of money, the more money that you get, you're gonna do the same thing. If you can't manage $2,000, you certainly cannot manage $10,000.
And it's what whoever you are. That's no
Yes,
matter what amount of money you get, you're still going to be that same person.
same
And
person.
I hear people say, well, when I make it big, or when I make more money, then I no, you're not,
No,
because this is what you're doing with that small amount. Rona here said exactly that
exactly,
it's that's the truth. It's just the truth, and that's why we need to face who we are when it comes to money. And we you
exactly,
made but you in order for you to do better, to move from where you are, you first have to acknowledge that,
exactly.
hey, I got a problem with the way my relationship with money is all skewed. My
And we can just
relationship with
even
money
asking
is just
people. I'm
messed up.
sorry. Go ahead.
Go
When
ahead.
you think about what you made and how you lived off of, if you made $15 an hour and you were able to live off of $15 an hour, then you get a raise and now you're making $20 an hour. And all of a sudden now you can't make it off of $20 an hour. So now you're making $30 an hour, and now you're making $50 an hour, and you can't hardly make it off of $50 an hour. That tells me you don't know how to manage. So if you went from saying, hey, if I could just make $50 an hour, if I could just make $30 an hour, you don't know how to manage. Because really, if you're making $50 an hour, you should be
Hmm.
managing like it's $30 an hour. Therefore,
Hmm.
there would give you a saving. If you're making $30 an hour, you should be managing like it's $20 an hour. You
Hmm.
should
Hmm.
always have that extra. And if you manage in less, then and operate your household, your budget in less, you will always have a saving. So when people say, well, I don't have anything, I can't save, you can. If
Yes,
you
you can.
manage on a lower level, you can save. If you're making $10, you can save an hour, you can save. If you're making $5.95 an hour, you can save. You just got to operate and manage on a lower level. Ask me how I know.
And
That's
we're going to ask you how you know. Dr. C. Rochelle, that's right. Our former pastor, when we were growing up, he used to have financial seminars. We had a
Mhm,
financial seminar every year. In the summertime, we did. And he used to
mhm.
tell us, he said, you don't have a money problem. He said, you have a management
You have a
problem.
management problem.
You have a
Absolutely.
management problem. And Era Jackson says she have asked the Lord to forgive her for how she handled money. And a lot
Yeah,
of us have. I know I have
I have.
to
That's
ask
why
for
I'm here.
forgiveness,
I
because
have.
that's right. Because we are responsible. You
Yeah.
are responsible for what comes, the resources that come uh through your hands. Dr. C. Rochelle says she know that to be true. So
Yes.
you were saying, ask you how you know. How do you know?
Because just what you're saying, I have made those bad decisions. I have where I've made more money. I've prayed like, Lord, I'm making $25, but if you just let me make $30 an hour, then I could do this and I would do that. And okay, now I'm making $30 an hour. And guess what? I still don't have enough. Like, okay, how do I not have enough? How is it that my lights still get turned off? How can I not still pay my car note? Why do I even still have a car note? So until you sit down and deal with that, you're going to be making those same mistakes. I was doing that. I was not making good choices. And and I tell you, I was that person that bounced checks. Like I remember one day, I remember the last day I bounced my last check. I bounced my last check because I had so many fees. I don't even know what I was trying to pay. But anyway, I had so many fees. My fees totaled, no, I still remember the number. My fees totaled $335. Yes, because I wasn't doing one thing, just sitting down and writing it out and balancing my checkbook. I was not doing that. So you know what? That was my last day. I looked at it and I said to myself, that's stupid. That's just stupid.
Hmm.
And it was, I'm doing something dumb. I'm doing something stupid. I'm not calling myself dumb. I'm not calling myself stupid. I said the action that I
Hmm.
was doing was absolutely stupid. I
Hmm.
made a decision that day. I'm not doing
Hmm.
this ever again. I'm not
Right.
going to just waste money in fees and overdrafts and all this kind of stuff. So again, we are responsible for educating ourselves. So with that knowledge, I took that knowledge and now I educated my daughter. I'm like, okay, this is what you do. If you do
Mm-hmm.
this, this is going to happen. I educate her on this is how you build your credit. You need to get a whole life insurance. And why a whole life? Because then you can borrow against that whole life insurance versus a term. We need to educate and know all that information. And
Mm-hmm.
how to, it's just building wealth and getting an understanding. But I made a whole lot of bad financial mistakes
Mm-hmm.
before I got to a place of really understanding, like, I need to understand money. And why did I make those bad mistakes? Because I learned bad habits. I
Right.
learned bad habits and I operated in those bad habits. So even when I was getting in financial increase, I was seeing it on paper, but it wasn't manifesting in my life because I didn't know how to manage it. And I continued to make bad decisions until I stopped one day and educated myself. I'm not talking about a bunch of investings and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't my world, no way. I have to
Mm-hmm.
get some help with that one. I'm just simply talking about your everyday single bills, paying your
Mm-hmm.
car note on time, paying your car insurance on time. So I got to the point where, like, you know what? I don't like monthly bills. Anything
Mm-hmm.
that can be paid monthly, I need to pay that up for the year. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to live where it has to be paid up for the year because the monthly thing bothers me. And
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
you have to get to a point where you just get sick and tired of being broke.
That's
You get
right.
sick and tired of being poor. You get sick and tired of that your idea of a vacation is going to Unsu house and sleeping on the sofa. No, that's not a vacation. I need to go.
No.
I need to be in a hotel room and not have and praying that the credit card go through. I got to, no.
Mm-mm.
And then
Mm-mm.
and Lord, please don't tell them to hold anything for incidental. That's going to be a whole nother problem. So I'm talking about when we get to the point where we can enjoy life. Because as long as you're in debt and you're struggling,
Mm-hmm.
you're not enjoying life. I mean,
It's
you
no
got to get
freedom.
to the point where you can enjoy life because there's no freedom being in debt. There is zero freedom in being in
Mhm.
debt.
Exactly. Rona says she pray before spending them, and she said what she has learned is that you have if you have to pray about it, I really don't need to buy that thing.
Yes.
She said if she that's a good one, Rona. That is good. That's a good way to think about it. If you got to pray about it and ask, should I get it? You probably need to
You
let.
probably
You
don't need
probably
it.
need to pass it. You
Yes.
need to let it go. So Carolyn says, Dr. Carol says she does investing in well. She said for her too, it's been years since she had an overdraft fee because it's just
Yes.
not a good feeling. It is a bad feeling to give
Yes.
away. $30 may not be something to nobody,
It's
but
35 nowadays. I think it's
oh, it's
35,
35.
25,
Oh
something
my
like
gosh.
it's higher than 25. I know
It's
that.
how you it's well it's that's a lot of money. And
Yeah.
just think if you have 10 things to come through that's overdraft. And I've heard people say that the first time I heard somebody say that I was like, what? How is that okay to
Yeah.
pay out money that's just unnecessary. Rona says she has a software that she's using called QuickBooks. I like QuickBooks. I've heard of QuickBooks.
Yes.
But whatever you see, that's educating yourself. Whatever
Yeah.
you have to do to get yourself in a place where you can experience financial freedom. So
Exactly.
we have the conference coming up on October 16th, next Saturday. And Bernadette is going to be doing the workshop on minding your own business. So the conference is free. We want you to register because she has a passion to help people get to that place of financial freedom. And that may look different from for every person, but we all, whether you make $10 or an hour, you could
Hmm.
Elder Howard used to tell us all the time, live within your means.
Live within your
Live
means.
within your means. Thank you, Ronald. Ronald says she's already registered. Awesome. Great. We want you to register because she's talking from experience. She's
Yeah.
not talking something that's that she read in the book. She's talking from experience, and she's living the principles that she teach,
Exactly.
and she has the proof, the evidence that what she teaches works. That what she teaches
Exactly.
works. So that if I didn't think that she could really help, I wouldn't have asked her. But I believe that if you take what she teach and what she tells you, and some of you on here have testified or agreeing with her that what she's saying is true, and you're seeing it in your own life, you know the things that she's telling you is, these things are right. So we want you to register, and it's free, but we want you to register on for October the 16th. It starts at 10 o'clock. And so she's going to be doing the workshop on minding your own business. Dr. Carol said those overdraft fees, that's just too much money. And
Too
that's
much.
just foolishness to give away your money like that. So Rona, we're so pleased that you've already registered. Yay, yay. And tell somebody else, and like and share, share this video, share this live to let so that people will know. And so Bernadette, before we go,
Mhm.
like I said, you will be talking about minding your business, minding your own business. Can you just name one or two things that you will focus on during this workshop?
Yes, can I just say add one thing,
Yes.
Cassandra, with mind your own business. So we don't want people to confuse that with we're talking about your business, that you have a business. No, when we say mind your own business, we're talking about you, everything about your life. You are
Hmm.
your business. Your household is your business. So when we
Right.
say mind your own business, we don't want you to worry about what Sue doing, what the neighbor doing, what John is doing. We want you to totally 100% focus on you. Mind your own business, because sometimes we get so busy trying to help other people we put our stuff on the back burner. Not this time. This time we're gonna mind our own business, okay?
Hmm. And if you want to get to that place of financial freedom, we should want to. We
Yes.
should want to. Uh, I didn't like living paycheck to paycheck.
Me either.
That's horrible.
Yes.
That's horrible. And then if you don't have anything in excess or in, how can you help somebody else?
You
And a
can't.
lot of times, and that's probably something we need to talk about too, because if you're not in a position to help, you don't need to be giving somebody, your
No.
bill is due. Why would you take your money and give it? You're not in a position to help,
Yeah.
and then you're giving your money to someone who is not a good manager, not managing well, and then you're trying to help them, and then you're both, that person is pulling you down. So we want to work with your mindset, the way you think about money, your relationship with money, so that you can begin to walk in financial freedom. So just share one or two things that you're going to focus on during the workshop.
I think the biggest thing we're going to focus on is we're going to learn how to say no. We're going
Mhm.
to learn how to say no. We're going to end the welcoming committee that's waiting on your paycheck. So we're going to tell the welcoming committee to say no on your check. And when I say the welcoming committee, you know how when you go to anywhere they say, welcome to the program, welcome to the event. That's how it is sometimes when our paycheck is coming. Most people that's doing a whole bunch of borrowing, they know your payday before you know it. So Wednesday, when what happened on Wednesday, you start getting those texts. Thursday, you start getting emails. Friday morning, you getting emergency calls. So you had your check and you hit the bank yet, and all of a
Mhm.
sudden, it's so many emergencies. And stop promising your money away.
Mhm.
I had a bad habit, Cassandra, of promising my money away. And when I say promising my money away, what happened is people were calling me, well, I don't have it today, but I'll give it to you when I get paid. I don't have it today, but when I get paid, I'll give it to you. So by the time my paycheck come, everybody remember the promises that I promised them, that when I got it, to the point that, now I feel obligated because I gave my word that I would help.
Mhm.
And so you know how we are, anything can come up. Maybe you didn't get paid. Maybe there was a mistake in your pay, or maybe you didn't get paid what you thought you was going to get paid, or
Mhm.
anything could happen. But guess what? Those people don't release you. Now they
Mhm.
angry. You said you was gonna help me. My lights off because you said so. All of a sudden now we take on responsibility. That brings on excessive stress for us, and we're gonna learn how to say no. We're gonna
Mhm.
walk away, and we're gonna learn how to close the door and not promise our pay away. We promise too much stuff away in the
Mhm.
name of love, in the name of
Mhm.
friendship, and we're gonna learn how to separate those two worlds. Okay?
Mhm. And we also do it even when we when it comes to ourselves,
Yes.
because we'll go get stuff and say, well, I'm going to pay it, knowing good and well that when you get your paycheck, you're not gonna have anything left to pay that.
No. Don't do it. Say no.
Say no. Uh,
No.
Virginia Silas, thank you for joining us. Hey, she said she was a pastor, a student of Pastor Frank Howard. Yeah, he used to drill us about money, drill us about money. Thank you for joining us, and that is so true. Well, we're so glad that you have joined us and you joined in for our conversation. Like I said, go and register
Yes.
for the summit that's going to take place October 15th and 16th. Bernadette will be doing the workshop with us on October the 16th. We hope to see you there. We hope for you, and it's going to be interactive. It's going
Yes.
to be interactive. You're going to be able to ask her questions, and if you want to, if you probably want to pop in on the screen, we got someone, Dr. C. Rochelle, who's helping us out, that will send you the link to let you pop on so that you can ask her a question or so that she can interact with you. So it's going to be informational, it's going to be helpful, it's going to be transformational, and it's going to be fun. We
Yes.
want to get to the point where we get away from this anxiety and this
Yes.
dread of talking about money. We want to get excited. We want to
Excited.
get excited about our money. We want to get excited about our wealth and our finances because God wants the best for us. We're
Yes.
supposed to live abundantly. So it
Exactly.
starts with changing your mindset. And that's what we're
Exactly.
going to be working on. She's going to give us some skills, some tools and strategies to learn how to say no. That's one
Say
of the
no.
things
Say
that
no.
she's
We're gonna
going
start
to.
there.
Yeah. Rhoda said, yes, Lord, I'm telling you, it's nothing like not having to be concerned about money, about finances. And so that's what we're going to tackle on October the 16th. So we look
Yes.
forward to having you all there with us. Bernadette, any closing remarks, anything else you want to say?
I'll see you Saturday. I'm excited and I can't wait to see everybody. I'm memorizing your names. So I will see you on Saturday. So I am excited about that.
Oh,
Okay.
hey, Dr. Steve Rochelle.
So, Cassandra, we get on here, we go on and on and on. So let me ask you a couple of questions while we are on here.
Mhm.
What do you expect people to leave with on this conference?
Well, on this conference, especially on Saturday, we have another speaker who's going to be talking about uh, mental preparedness,
Mhm.
how to cope with problems, strategies to deal with challenges and obstacles in your life. So, what I want people to be able to take away from this summit when they come, I want them to be able to take away some concrete information and strategies and tools. I'm all about application,
Yes,
application. Give me something so that when I leave, I can go back and apply. And so
exactly.
I'm hoping that people will leave. I know that they will leave with
Mhm.
some strategies and tools to go back and apply. This is what I need to do when I encounter this situation, or when this challenge come up, because our biggest problem is ourselves. And
Exactly.
so, and the way we think. And I do know, if a person don't change the way they think and their habits and their mindset, it's there's nothing that you can do. So I want people to have information as tools and strategies to go back and work with in this area of finances and their relationship with money. And I really want us, that's why I said, let's get excited about it.
Yes.
I
Yes.
know when the people have problems, and the folks don't like talking about money. They don't like thinking, but you're gonna have to face it.
When you're in a good place, you enjoy talking about. You have a big old smile, like I mean, it's exciting. But and I
Mhm.
was like that. When you don't, when you oh, did we get cut off?
No, thank you,
Okay.
Doctor. No, she's
Oh,
putting
she's
the
just showing this. Oh, okay. So
okay.
when you're in debt, it's no fun. You don't want to talk about it because then you got
Mhm.
to remember where you are. But when you are
Uh-huh.
in a good place, it's a good conversation. I listen to some of the ministers who talk about their blessings and doing well. I listened to Jesse Duplantis, and Jesse Duplantis, when you see him, he is one of the happiest people that
Mhm.
I know. And I kept saying, how somebody that happy all the time? I learned. Why you happy all the time? If you don't wake up with your finances being a struggle for you every day, you can wake up in a happy place, because most of the time, most people struggle is financial.
Mhm.
When they wake up and you got a financial struggle that you got to face every single day, when you don't know where the money coming for food, or for car note, house mortgage, put your children through school, that's a struggle, a mental struggle. So when we leave this conference, we're going to talk to you about how do I walk in a lifestyle without struggle. I promise you there's a lifestyle you can get to and you will have zero struggle. So come on Saturday, we're going to help you get to that place without struggle.
That's right. Oh, my beautiful cousin is on here from Arizona. Hi,
Awesome,
Wendell.
awesome.
Hi. Thank you for joining us. And yes, that is just so true. That is so true. Of
Yes.
course, we know there are people who have millions and billions of dollars, but they're not happy. But that's a mindset too.
Yes,
That's
that's a
that's a
different
mindset
mindset.
too. And
Yes.
so Rona said, yes, zero struggle.
It goes back to that stewardship and managing. So again, your mind got to be in a good place, because you can be a millionaire, and if your mind ain't in a good place, you still think you got to struggle.
Hmm.
So you just got a
And
different type of struggle. But
just
you
in a
don't
different.
have, as Christians and as believers, there's a place that we can get to that we don't have to struggle.
Hmm. That's exactly right. That's exactly right, and that's what that place of rest and that place of peace and trusting in the way God says to do it. Oh,
Yes.
it's the most beautiful, wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful way to live. So we want you to come on. We want you to be there on October 16th. It is virtual, so wherever you live in this world, wherever you live, you can join
You
for
can join.
free. You can join for free. So we are so excited, excited, excited. We're so excited, and we're looking forward to it. And we hope that you join us. We just believe that you will. And so, Bernadette, thank you so much for taking our time this evening to be with us and to talk with us
Thank
and share
you.
with us. We're looking forward to it. Hi, Pamela. Pamela Hudson. Good evening, Pamela. So we just thank you all so much, and we're looking forward to it. You all have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Bye bye.